Hey music community, it's Hannah. Pull up a chair, join me as we do some short album reviews. I want to keep this video a lot shorter than my last one, which is like 45 minutes. So sorry about that. I'm going to keep this short. And I'm going to review, what do I have, like 4 albums. I listen to way more albums than I review, you guys, but this is just kind of what I've been listening to lately. Kind of been absorbing them. So now I would say I'm listening to albums more than once at a time. Before I was just doing it, once and then going on to the next album. It's way more enjoyable if you take the time to listen multiple times to an album. So I'm going to start with one that Bo at Earhead 6 sent me, I guess it was late last year. This is Quicksilver Messenger Service. This is their first album from 1968. Yes, this is a killer acid rock, psych rock album. In my opinion, this is one of the most underrated psych albums out there. You don't really hear this one talked about too much. So Quicksilver Messenger Service were formed in 1965. They were formed in the San Francisco area, so they're part of that West Coast psych movement, I guess. And I really love the guitars between John Cipollina and Gary Duncan. Really talented guys. So this album opens with Pride of Man, which is an amazing cover. I think it was a folk song, but it has just very strong vocals, and yeah, what an opening with that song. There's only 6 songs on this album, so it's a really short listen. I think it clocks in at like 32 minutes. I like the longer songs that close out each side of the album. In fact, my favorite song is probably Gold and Silver, which is about 6 minutes long. Just amazing guitars on that. In fact, it gives me goosebumps, like just the guitar tone and the solos. It's incredible. And then the last song, The Fool, that's like a 12-minute song. Too Long is another song I like, just tight rhythm guitar. So I recommend this album if you're into that 60s psych music. It's very listenable, it's a short listen, and just amazing loud psych guitars throughout. So yeah, that's the first one I wanted to talk about. Okay, the next quick review I wanted to do is on Skinshape's Phylloxeny. My friend Paul at Baraka P-Dub sent this recently, and it's kind of been my go-to chill record lately, and I just love this. So Skinshape is basically William Dorey, and he signed this. British musician. He actually wrote, recorded, and produced this album. Really talented guy. A lot of it is instrumental. My favorite track is probably Life is One on the second side. I wanted to read you a quote from William Dorey that I found on my iPad here. Phylloxeny is a mishmash of a huge variety of styles and sounds. I've tried to push myself in the writing of the music as well as the recording process. The focus of this album was to make songs with a strong cinematic element, using string and horn parts making up significant portions. I wanted to do this whilst still retaining a spacey psych feel. As a result, there are not many songs with lyrics. Instead, lots of mellow cinematic grooves that I feel are almost the soundtrack to an imaginary film. So yeah, I would say that very accurately describes this album. I just like it a lot. It's hard to explain what genre of music it is because there's so many styles on it. I would say funk, folk, soul, reggae, psych rock, trip hop. It's hard to put into one category, and that's kind of what makes this so amazing. He also runs a reggae label called Horus Records, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've just been really enjoying this, just something to wind down after a day at work. I've listened to this probably 5 times already and love it more and more upon each listen, so I recommend this. This came out last year, 2018, Skinshape Phylloxeny. Excellent. Okay, next I want to talk about the latest Smashing Pumpkins album. So it's a picture disc that my friend Robert NYC Guy Raised on Records sent me for Christmas in a generous package. It was part of the Black Friday record store day. And so I didn't sample any of this beforehand. I had actually heard I think Solara before, because they played that on tour last year when we saw them. It only has 8 songs. It's a really short listen. So the group reunited, and there's 3 of the 4 original members in the group. Again, minus Darcy, so she's no longer with them, but you got Jimmy Chamberlin, Billy Corgan, and James Iha. So I was really excited to hear that they got back together. Just really amazing musicians. Like I said, I didn't want to ruin it by totally sampling this whole thing before I listened to it. It took me a while to listen to this. I finally started listening to it, I guess, last month. Anyway, do not be expecting another Gish or Siamese Dream, okay? Because you're not going to get that. There's been so many bad reviews on this, which is really unfortunate. I cut them some slack just because I'm such a big fan. I like this record, but I must say that they could have done a lot more, especially since they reunited. I was expecting some more, I guess, dueling guitar work and the solos between James Iha and Billy Corgan. Basically, you don't get any guitar solos on this. It is very produced, I would say. The lyrics are kind of lacking, I feel, when comparing to other Smashing Pumpkins albums, which I was fine with. I'm not a huge lyrics girl, as I've mentioned in other videos. So it's going to be extremely underwhelming if you're expecting another 90s Smashing Pumpkins album, because, yeah, you will be very disappointed if that's what you are trying to get from this. I also kept waiting for Jimmy Chamberlin, the drummer, to just bust out with some aggressive drumming, but you don't get that until the second song on side 2. So to me, it was very mediocre drumming until that point, and that's pretty much all you get as far as like drumming freakouts go from him, because he's a really talented drummer. He's one of my favorites, actually. So yeah, you don't get that awesome drumming assault that is typical of Jimmy Chamberlin's playing until the song Marching On. So that was another kind of weird thing I noticed about this album. The song Travels, which is on side 1, kind of reminded me of a Christian mainstream song as far as production and the lyrics, which isn't a bad thing, but I'm just kind of, that's kind of what I took from that particular song. Side 2 is the winning side for me. There's a lot of songs I liked. In fact, my favorite song is Within Sympathy. I just love the guitar chords. It's kind of dreamy sounding. So I know it sounds like I'm kind of bashing this album, but I also like it at the same time, since I didn't have that expectation of another 90s return to form Smashing Pumpkins album. So do not, like, if you haven't heard this before, just listen to it with an open mind. Don't expect all that awesome, crazy guitar work and drumming. Bands evolve, bands change. This is them coming together again. It does feel like it was kind of rushed and put together. I just hope they kick it up a notch for the second installment, whenever that's supposed to come out. Because I think there's supposed to be a Shiny and Bright Volume 2. I don't know when that is. So I liked it, but again, there were several things that I thought were missing from this album, like the guitar work from Billy and James. The awesome solos that they're known to feed off of each other with. So I don't even know what James Iha contributed to this album, because to me it sounds like there's one guitar on the whole album. I don't know what you guys think of that. So I like it. It did seem rushed. I've listened to it several times. It's not one of my favorite Smashing Pumpkins albums for sure, but I appreciate that they did this album, that they reunited with the 3 of the 4 original members. So that's pretty much all I have to say on this Shiny and Oh So Bright album from 2018, Smashing Pumpkins. I have one last one, and then we're going to show some giftage, and then I'm out. Blake Baby's Innocence and Experience. I just got this 2 days ago from American Laundromat Records. Really nice packaging. Get the lyric sheet and just some nice photos of the Blake Babies there. They also included a sticker and some buttons and a guitar pick, which I thought you know, that was a nice touch. So here is the track listing, the back. I showed this in my favorite compilation video. I had this CD forever, so I'm very familiar with this album. They recently reissued this to vinyl. It's on a lovely like baby blue color vinyl. Yeah, that's really nice. So this is Juliana Hatfield's first band before she went solo. Remember I mentioned that I would always feature a female artist in my review videos. So yeah, there's Juliana Hatfield. This is late 80s. The drummer, Frida Love, and then John Strom, the guitarist. John Strom is a really underrated guitarist. He is an attorney now, I believe, for the entertainment industry, but I just like the chemistry the members had with each other. To describe their music, I would say, and I looked up some reviews on this, and I like how this one person put it. It said, their music is less aggressive than punk, but more interesting than pop. So kind of in the middle there. It's definitely jangle pop and alternative or college rock from the late 80s. This is just a compilation of some demos. There's a live track and some other of their well-known songs. They do a cover of Temptation Eyes. And then Over and Over from Neil Young. They cover that. That's the last song. I like this, but I feel like they're missing some key songs. And this is kind of what I started with the Blake Babies. So I really have nothing bad to say about it. It's been a staple amongst my CDs, and I'm thrilled to have this on vinyl. My favorite Blake Babies songs are not on here. My favorite Blake Babies songs are From Here to Burma, which is from their first album, Earwig, and then Train, which is on Sunburn. But the songs that I do love on this are Lament, on the first side there, You Don't Give Up, and Out There. But it's just, I mean, I would suggest sample it. Juliana's voice is very underdeveloped here, more so than her solo material, but I've always loved her voice. Very thrilled to have it. All right, let's move on to some of the gifts my generous friends sent to me recently, and I'll have to grab some in the other room. So this one, there's a letter on here and really cool wrapping paper. I haven't opened this yet. To me, it kind of looks like Annie Lennox, but I don't know for sure. I'm going to save the note for the end in case there's spoilers in there and see what it is. Really cool wrapping paper. I like this wrapping paper. Okay, it's in a flat rate box here. Okay. Oh, I was going to wait on the note. Let's see what's in here. Oh, we have, this is Brighter Later from Nick Drake. All I have for him right now on CD is Pink Moon. So I'm actually thrilled to have this. This is a 2000 reissue, it looks like. Just an awesome folk artist. He left us too soon. Then we have John Collier. I guess I can say your name now, right? John Collier. Folk into Rock. Looks like these are recordings that you did. There's several. That's cool. There's a lot of them from the early 90s. These are your recordings. Then we have Heroes of Rock and Roll. I guess I should read the note because that might explain more. This says Edges. I'll Be Switched. Shapes. Clean American Version. Okay, let's read the note so I can understand. There's a Nick Drake pin in here. That's cool. Yeah. Okay, it says, Dear Hannah, how are you? I am well, thank you. I'm sending a few things in your direction as a way of saying thank you for sharing your collection, opinions, and favorite music with all of us. I enjoy talking music with you guys too, so thank you. Heroes of Rock and Roll was a TV production broadcast in 1979. It is an excellent overview of the evolution of rock music hosted by Jeff Bridges. Cool. To the best of my knowledge, it has never been commercially available in any format. Imagine my surprise when I found it on DVD in a thrift store, obviously transferred from either VHS or Betamax tape for $1. That's pretty amazing. Nick Drake, Brighter Later is one of my favorite all-time albums. Folk into Rock was the name of my radio show. I recorded them on cassette tape in the studio, and my friend Andrew Tonkin transferred them to CD. The other 4 discs are mixed CDs. I chose the music and song sequence for each one, and Andrew worked his magic to create a continuous flow from beginning to end. I'm glad I found your channel. You do a great job. Thank you. Enjoy the music. All the best wishes from John. That's awesome, John. Thank you for the card, and also you have pretty outstanding handwriting there. So that's so nice. Wow. I'm going to really enjoy listening to all of these. And Nick Drake, in fact, is pretty awesome. So that's a lot of CDs here, and looking forward to this DVD, Heroes of Rock and Roll, as well. As always, thank you. Lastly, I want to show some cassettes. My friend Gordon, his channel is Flash Gordon's One Record at a Time. Really, really generous guy. We have a lot of the same music tastes, as far as the 80s go anyway. So he sent me a bunch of cassettes, a box of cassettes, and I'm going to show it really quick. He sent me Depeche Mode's Enjoy the Silence. This is so cool to have. Oh my goodness. So the other song on here is Mephisto. And you're not going to see that. Sorry. Wow. Thank you. Stevie Nicks, The Wild Heart. I love this album. I also have it on CD and vinyl, so I have it all formats now. That's definitely one to own on all formats, in my opinion. Duran Duran's Rio. I don't need to say anything about this. Nice. Queen, The Works. Finally, I have something of Queen. So this is their 1984 album. Kraftwerk, Computer World. Oh my gosh, I love this. I've already listened to this. This is one that I'm going to be getting on vinyl this year, hopefully. I love this. I had only heard a few songs off of this before. I have to say that I recognized, I think it's the song Computer Love. Now, I haven't read up on this, but Coldplay, I think they totally stole the melody from Kraftwerk for that song. The song of Coldplay's that's like, I don't know if it's called Let's Talk. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'll have to look it up, but I think they totally ripped Kraftwerk off by taking the melody, which is fine. I liked that Coldplay song, but it's cool to hear the original song here. Anyway, I'm going to be getting this on vinyl. That is amazing. Maybe I'll be getting into Kraftwerk a little more. I know someone recommended some other albums that I check out. What are your favorite albums from Kraftwerk? If you want to leave them in the comments below, that's cool. The B-52s, Whammy. I don't know if I know any songs off of here, but I love the B-52s. Wham, Make It Big. Come on, you know you like Wham. Journey Frontiers, which I didn't have on any format. So Separate Ways is on here, and that's one of my favorite Journey songs ever. Faithfully is also on here. Roxy Music, Avalon. This is the first Roxy Music that I own on any format. Alphaville, Forever Young. And then 10,000 Maniacs, The Wishing Chair. So that was just super kind of you, Gordon. I've already started listening to them. I still listen to cassettes, yes. How are y'all doing? Hopefully you're doing well. I have to say, there's nothing really much new to report except I survived this winter like a boss just by working out every day, having a better mindset. The workouts do help though with your endorphins, like you have just better mood overall. And keeping the music spinning, that's probably one of the biggest things. So hopefully you guys are doing the same. I'll be back soon with another video. I might try a different kind of video for the next one. I want to try to get out before something is released. No promises that I'll even do it or attempt to do it, but Chris and I have an idea for it. Thanks you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Later. Snowmageddon. We are coming upon a sleeping kitty in the bed like a human. Skibby, what are you doing? He's all tucked in.